Hey you. If you're a parent, a caregiver, or simply someone living anywhere in the world where the sun blazes during the summer months, this video is one you can't afford to miss, not just because it'll help you protect your family's health, but because the most crucial, overlooked truths of summer wellness are coming up in just a few moments. So before we dive deeper, hit that follow button right now, because the most eye-opening part is just around the corner. Picture this: a beautiful summer morning. You and your kids head out with a picnic basket in hand, sun hats on, hearts full of excitement. The cicadas hum, waves crash in the background, laughter rings through the air. It feels like the perfect day, until your child starts rubbing their temples, loses interest in ice cream, refuses to run around, eventually just slumps over, eyes closed, skin flushed and hot. You touch their forehead and it's burning. If this has ever happened to you, you're not alone. All around the world, kids fall ill during the summer months, not from the cold, but from the heat. The sudden environmental changes, the bacteria and viruses that thrive in hot weather, and the chaos of vacation meals and disrupted routines. The trouble is, we often prepare for sunburns, beach safety, and bugs, but forget to prepare for the sicknesses that sneak in quietly. So what should we do? Let's start with the one element that's both everywhere, and tragically underused: water. Hydration is your first and fiercest line of defense. Dehydration isn't just about thirst. It's about heat exhaustion, dizziness, headaches, low energy, constipation, fevers, even mild fevers that go unnoticed until a child crashes halfway through a day at the park. But kids don't drink enough water. They don't feel thirsty while playing, or they're too distracted. So your job isn't just to say, drink your water. It's to engineer the habit into their joy. How personalized water bottles with favorite characters, playful games like sip races, colorful fruit-infused water, homemade smoothies or chilled coconut water instead of sugary sodas. Make hydration a part of the adventure, not a chore, and you're already ahead of the curve. But if you think hydration is enough, you'll want to brace yourself for what's coming up next, because there's a silent threat that most modern families willingly bring into their homes, and then wonder why the kids are coughing all night long. Yes, we're talking about air conditioning. That blissful stream of cool air, which might also be the very reason your child's throat is sore, their nose is congested, or their asthma is flaring up. The problem isn't that a C is evil, it's how we use it. Going from sweltering outdoor heat to an icy 18 degrees Celsius indoor environment shocks a child's developing system. It dries their airways. It stresses their immune defenses. And yet we crank the temperature lower and lower, thinking cooler is safer. But it doesn't have to be this way. Smart AC use is simple. Keep indoor temps at a gentle contrast to 24 to 26 degrees Celsius if possible. Let fans circulate the air instead of blowing cold directly on sleeping kids. Keep a bowl of water or a humidifier nearby to combat the dryness. That subtle balance might be the difference between a summer full of memories, full of midnight fevers. And speaking of fevers, there's a place nearly every child begs to go during summer. A place of shrieking joy, splashing water, and contagious laughter. But what you don't see is what's floating beneath the surface. And once you know, you'll never look at a swimming pool the same way again. If your summer plans include visits to public pools, splash parks, hotel resorts, or even inflatable backyard water toys, brace yourself. Because while water play is one of the most joyful parts of childhood, it's also one of the riskiest places for hidden illness to strike. And no, I'm not just talking about drowning hazards or slipping on wet tiles. I'm talking about the microscopic threats, viruses, bacteria, and parasites that thrive in warm, wet, crowded places. But before we go deeper, hit follow if you haven't yet, because what we're about to cover might just save your child from a week of stomach cramps, rashes, or worse. Let's start with something that sounds familiar. A child who is perfectly fine in the morning, but by evening starts complaining of an upset stomach, nausea, maybe vomiting or diarrhea. You assume it's something they ate, but was it? Cryptosporidium giardia E. coli. These aren't just scary names from a biology textbook. They're real, active, and stubbornly resistant to common disinfectants like chlorine. Public swimming pools, even when maintained regularly, can become breeding grounds for these pathogens, especially when kids swallow water while playing. And here's the hard truth: Most of the time, you won't see the contamination. You won't smell it. You won't know until it's too late. That's why it's crucial. Crucial to teach your kids water hygiene just as much as water safety. Remind them, don't swallow pool water. Don't enter a pool if they've had diarrhea in the past 2 days. Don't pee in the water. And yes, that means regular bathroom breaks during pool time. Dry them thoroughly after swimming. Change out of wet swimsuits quickly, and rinse off under clean water to avoid skin irritation or rashes. You're not being paranoid. You're being proactive. But what if you're not at a pool? What if your summer involves travel, planes, trains, buses, and hotel rooms? Then the next section is for you, because when families travel, so do germs. And the next thing that could knock your child down isn't in the water, it's on the plane tray table. It's a doorknob or the complimentary breakfast buffet. Before we get there, though, let's talk a bit more about the immune system. Because summer isn't just about exposure, it's about resistance. And your child's ability to fight off seasonal illnesses starts long before you even pack the sunscreen. Sleep. It's the most underrated weapon in your summer health arsenal. While the temptation to let kids stay up late every night is strong, fireworks, family reunions, sleepovers. Consistent, restful sleep is what keeps their immunity from crumbling. Lack of sleep weakens the body's ability to respond to pathogens. Even just 1 or 2 nights of disruption can make them more vulnerable to the viruses. Waiting in a crowded shopping center or amusement park, and right behind sleep comes nutrition. You may not want to hear this, but too many ice creams, too many sodas, too many deep-fried snacks from food stalls, they create the perfect internal storm for inflammation, gut imbalance, and lowered immunity. Let your kids enjoy summer treats, but anchor them in a foundation of real foods, fresh fruits, hydrating veggies, yogurt with live cultures, lean proteins. Think of it as armor building with every bite. Because here's the thing, germs will come. They always do. You can't shield your child from every virus or bacteria in the world, but you can build them up. You can help them recover faster. You can prevent the little things from becoming big problems. And speaking of big problems, have you ever noticed how quickly one child's summer cold becomes everyone's summer cold? That's not just bad luck, that's a pattern. And in the next section, we're diving into the surprising ways illness spreads among families and how to stop that cycle before it even starts. Have you ever seen this happen? One child starts with a mild cough, a sniffle, nothing alarming, you think it's just the weather. 2 days later, your second child is running a fever. Then your spouse. Then you. Before you know it, the entire household is down. A simple cold has taken your summer hostage. Vacations canceled, work disrupted, energy drained. But here's the thing. This entire spiral is preventable if you act before it starts. Summer illness doesn't spread the same way as winter bugs. Sure, cold air and moisture are breeding grounds in winter. But summer has its own pattern. Relaxed habits, tighter shared spaces, and an underestimation of the threat. Think about it. Air conditioners blast through sealed rooms. Families gather in small shared spaces. Kids share towels, cups, snacks. And just like that, germs have an express highway from one person to the next. So, what's the first step? It might sound too simple, but it's the one habit most families forget the moment vacation starts. Proper hand washing. Not just after using the bathroom, but before meals, after outdoor play, after public places, like shopping malls, tourist buses, hotel elevators, or yes, that splash pad filled with squealing kids. Soap and clean running water for at least 20 seconds is still the gold standard. Hand sanitizers are useful, but they won't do much if the hands are greasy, sticky, or visibly dirty. Let's make it fun for kids. Sing the alphabet song while they scrub. Make it routine. A small act can block a massive chain of infections from ever getting started. Now let's talk personal items. Toothbrushes, face towels, water bottles. In many households, children easily mix these up, especially when sharing bathrooms during travel. You have to build the habit. 1 bottle, 1 towel, 1 brush per person. No swaps, no sharing. Just this once. Label them, color code them, keep items separate. Because once one child is sick, that water bottle they left on the counter isn't just a container, it's a carrier. And speaking of personal space, let's not forget where we sleep. A cool, closed-off bedroom might feel comforting on a hot night, But it's also a sealed chamber where viruses can linger and circulate. One cough, one sneeze, one shared bed. That's all it takes. So what do? Simple tweaks make all the difference. Crack open a window for airflow. Use a purifier or fan to circulate air gently. Wash sheets and pillowcases weekly. And if someone in the house is already sick, change them every 3 days. Most importantly, avoid having sick and healthy children sleep together, even if the younger one's scared. Even if the hotel room is small, create separation where it matters most. You might be thinking, that's a lot of work. But picture the alternative: searching for a doctor in a foreign city, waiting in line at a local pharmacy in the blistering heat, comforting a child with a fever when you were supposed to be watching the sunset by the sea. Prevention isn't just a health move, it's protecting your summer memories. And now, we come to one of the trickiest and most sensitive parts of staying healthy during summer adventures. Eating on the road, street food, roadside diners, last-minute bites at a rest stop. They're fun, spontaneous, and often the highlight of travel.
Ow.
But one wrong meal, and your child could end up in bed instead of at the beach. In the next part, I'll share a story of one family's dream trip, and how it turned into a nightmare after just one casual lunch. But more importantly, I'll show you how to choose food wisely without sacrificing fun, so your taste buds stay happy, your gut stays safe. The Thompson family had been looking forward to their seaside getaway for months. After wrapping up work, packing carefully, and wrangling their 2 energetic kids, they finally arrived at the coast. The sun was high, the breeze just right, and both kids squealed with delight the moment they saw the ocean. That perfect summer day kicked off with hotel check-in. Quick change into swimsuits and a splashy afternoon of salt water and laughter. By noon, everyone was starving. Strolling along the beachside road, they found a casual seafood stand. Nothing fancy, just a few tables under sun umbrellas and a handwritten menu featuring fresh-caught specials. It looked authentic. It smelled delicious. The Thompsons ordered grilled squid, shellfish, shrimp skewers, and a few sodas over crushed ice. Lunch was filled with smiles and sticky fingers. But just 4 hours later, 6-year-old Chloe started clutching her belly. Her skin turned pale. She said she felt like throwing up. At first, her parents thought it was just fatigue from swimming too long. But when the fever hit, followed by vomiting and diarrhea, they rushed her to the local urgent care. The diagnosis: foodborne illness, Vibrio infection from undercooked shellfish. The vacation turned into a hospital stay. 2 days later, their son Jacob showed mild symptoms too. The trip they'd planned for joy became a recovery period filled with prescriptions, electrolyte packets, and canceled excursions, all from one rush decision at lunchtime. Scary, yes. Rare, not really. Stories like the Thompsons unfold across the globe every summer, one casual bite away from disaster. The risk doesn't lie in street food or local joints. The real risk lies in how we choose food, how we prepare, and how we respond to those choices. So, how do we eat smart when traveling? First rule: choose busy places that locals trust, not just tourist traps. Look for high turnover. Watch who's eating there. If it's full of locals, that's a good sign. Avoid spots with pretty signage but no customers. Pay attention to the food prep area. Are ingredients chilled properly? Are workers wearing gloves? Is anything left sitting in the sun? Second rule: avoid raw or undercooked items unless you absolutely trust the source. That means going easy on rare meats, sushi, oysters, or salads that haven't been washed with clean water. Even drinks can be risky, especially those with ice made from unfiltered tap water. Third rule: be wary of pre-prepared foods left out too long. Sandwiches made hours ago, exposed buffet items, uncovered baked goods. All potential traps. Stick to meals cooked fresh and hot right in front of you. And always, always pack a mini health kit when traveling. Include basic digestive aids, electrolytes, probiotics, fever reducers, and sanitizing wipes. That small pouch might be the difference between a rough afternoon and a medical emergency. But there's another threat that is harder to spot than any bacteria in food: stress. Imagine this: you've just missed a train. The kids are melting down. You're arguing over directions, and everyone's hangry. That spike of tension, the short fuse, the clenched jaws, doesn't just affect your mood, it affects your immune system. Chronic stress suppresses the body's ability to fight infections. Children who internalize their parents' anxiety become more prone to illness, especially while traveling. Multiple studies confirm it. Kids who feel calm, secure, and emotionally supported get sick less, even when exposed to the same environments as others who fall ill. So when you pack, don't just bring extra socks or sunscreen. Bring your patience. Bring your humor. Bring your deep breaths. And yes, bring a mindset that says, it's okay if we get lost. We figure it out. Now maybe you're thinking, we've covered water, food, air, sleep, hygiene, emotions. We're good, right? Not quite. There is one last piece of the puzzle. One final moment where many families let their guard down, the transition back home. In the final part, we'll talk about the most overlooked post-travel mistakes, from how you unpack, to how you clean your bags, to how you gently reset your kids' systems after days of travel and excitement. Because ending a summer trip well matters just as much as how it began. The vacation is over. Your family has just returned home, tired, a little sunburned, but full of joy. The laughter still echoes in your head. The sand is still clinging to the seams of your luggage, and your camera roll is bursting with memories. But now the bags are slumped in the hallway, dirty clothes still packed, damp towels hidden among souvenirs, and everyone is too exhausted to move. And yet, this moment of return is where many families make crucial mistakes. Small oversights that can open the door for lingering illnesses to sneak in quietly. After the trip ends, don't let a few hours of post-travel laziness undo everything you've worked so hard to protect during your trip. The first task isn't to scroll through vacation photos or post highlights online. It's this: unpack immediately. Don't let suitcases sit for days, especially if they contain damp swimwear, used towels, or shoes soaked in humidity. These are ideal breeding grounds for bacteria and mold. Sort out laundry, disinfect the suitcase's interior, and make sure everything is dry before it goes back into the closet. Next, sanitize what's often overlooked. Toothbrushes, reusable water bottles, neck pillows, headphones, earplugs, phone screens. These items traveled everywhere with you, through airports, public restrooms, bus seats, crowded waiting areas. Give them a proper wipe down with disinfectant or a thorough rinse with warm water and soap. Then, give your whole family what I call a reset day. Don't dive straight back into work, school, or social schedules. Your body, especially your children's bodies, need a soft landing. Get extra sleep. Eat simple, nourishing foods. Stay hydrated with clean water. Cut back on sugar, fried foods, and caffeine. Let the digestive system and immune defenses recalibrate. If your child shows minor symptoms, a light fever, slight cough, fatigue, don't panic. The immune system is adapting, recovering from the environmental changes, time zone shifts, and emotional highs and lows. Focus on comfort. Warm meals, fresh fruit, herbal teas, quiet downtime. Avoid crowded places for at least a day or two to prevent any lingering pathogens from spreading or flaring up. But there's something else, something often ignored: the emotional letdown after a holiday. Kids go from days of unstructured fun, attention, and freedom to being told to unpack, sleep on time, clean up after themselves. The mood dips. Resistance rises. Parents get frustrated. But this behavior isn't disobedience. It's re-entry turbulence. Here's how to help. Make the first day home a celebration of coming back. Flip through photos together. Let your kids draw their favorite part of the trip. Create a small welcome back ritual: pancakes and pajamas, a family board game, or a cozy movie night.
Help them.
Associate the return with comfort, not restriction. And if you were the one coordinating the trip, you, the planner, the packer, the schedule keeper, you deserve to rest too. Don't try to clean the entire house in one day. Prioritize health first. Clean clothes, clean hands, warm food, sleep, breathe, smile. You gave your family a gift, and now you get to close the journey gently. Looking back on it all, the planning, the adventures, the water safety, the balanced meals, the medical kits, the deep breaths, you'll realize summer isn't just a season or a vacation. Summer is a string of tiny choices woven into a bigger story. Every time you packed an extra bottle of water, every time you reminded your child to wash their hands, Every time you skipped that risky snack. Every moment you chose patience over panic. These were all quiet acts of love, the kind that protects more than any sunscreen or doctor's visit ever could. And if you've made it to the end of this video, from the first moment we said, follow us for more to this final sign-off, then I want to say one thing to you. Thank you. Truly thank you. Thank you for caring this deeply about your family's health. Thank you for listening, reflecting, and preparing. If you found any part of this journey helpful, please follow this channel, because there's more coming. Not just for summer, but for every season of life where care, connection, and knowledge can make all the difference. Wishing you a summer full of energy, peace, resilience, and laughter. See you next time.